we were able to sort of bring that on stream by initially putting infrastructure in to operate, starting up the mine, reconnecting power, reconnecting water, refurbishing the plant, and now we're sort of fully up to production in both of those two mining operations.
All right, welcome back inside our proactive newsroom. And joining me now is Stephen Westhead. He is the Vice President of Anglo Asian Mining. And Stephen, it's great to see you. How are you?
Fine, thank you, Steve. Everything's going really well. It's a pleasure to see you again and look forward to this interview.
Yeah, I'm excited about it as well because you've announced your full year results, so that's always exciting. Give us a bit of a summary and some of the key highlights that you saw in 2025.
Sure, certainly. Thank you. Look, 2025 was a transformational year for Anglo Asian, marking the company's transition essentially from being a single mine producer into a multi-asset mining company. How do we do that? We actually brought into production two new mines, the Gilar underground copper gold mine in Demirli, in Gedebe, and the Demirli mine, a copper project. And both of those now make meaningful contribution to our future production for both copper and gold.
Tell me a bit about these two projects and how you're able to achieve this. So that's a pretty big thing to happen in 1 year.
Absolutely. Yeah, especially with where we've come from with operations only previously at the Gedebe contract area. But with regards to the Gilar mine, it's an underground operation. We are pioneers in Azerbaijan of building underground mines, and so the team was very well versed in sort of that development process. So bringing that on stream was very, very important for us, and that particular deposit has significant copper and gold grades, 1.5% copper, 1.8 grams per ton gold. And so on the back of that, actually, we've also upgraded our processing facilities at the Gedebe contract area, upgrading the flotation plant and various associated equipment such as the filter presses. So bringing that on stream was challenging, but we were able to then split the team from the original Gedebe operations and strongly develop the team for restarting the Demirli operations. Now, Demirli was an existing mine with a processing plant of around about 6 million tons per annum, a flotation plant. And so we were able to sort of divide our team. So we were able to sort of bring that on stream by initially putting infrastructure in to operate, starting up the mine, reconnecting power, reconnecting water, refurbishing the plant. And now we're sort of fully up to production in both of those two mining operations.
Yeah. You mentioned that it was a transformative year in 2025. You returned to profitability, you're net cash positive, you've returned a dividend as well. Obviously, that was key for the company, but also shows that the growth strategy is continuing to work and that it obviously wants to continue in the future.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you're correct. I mean, we produced nearly 8,000 tons of copper metal in 2025. And over 25,000 ounces of gold. So certainly the increased production situation certainly has positioned and strengthened our financial position. As you referenced, bringing ourselves to profitability, delivering a profit before tax of nearly $26 million. So on the back of that, as you correctly stated, we've looked to reinstate the dividend at $0.04 per share for the financial year 2025. And on the back of that, now we've been able to position really the company on a much stronger platform for growth, where the business is now better positioned operationally, financially, and strategically to achieve our longer term goals that we can maybe talk about going forwards.
Yeah, and you mentioned copper is obviously something that's been very good, and pricing obviously helps on copper, helps on gold as well. But how do you want investors to sort of think about the company moving forward, that you're not just gold, that you actually have sort of a multi-asset type company?
Certainly. Well, the projects that we have currently in operation are gold, copper, and copper. i.e. Gedabek contractor, Gedabek contractor, the Gedabek mine, Gilar mine, and Demiri copper mine. Going forwards, the growth projects are two copper projects, Kha and Garadag. Both of those projects are located just to the north of the Gedabek contract area. Okay, and so those projects in combination, Kha hosts a JORC classified mineral resource estimate of around about 120,000 tons of copper metal, but Garadag 900,000 tons of copper metal. So between them, there's over 1 million tons of copper metal in the ground at those two assets, and both of them now have independent MREs on, and we're just now in the process of finalizing the decision to award a consultant for the feasibility studies for both of those projects. Now, in terms of those developments, because we've operated in the Gedabek contract area for so long, we've developed a strong business relationship here in Azerbaijan and in the region. We've got our teams of technical and administration there as well. So it's not like we're setting up from scratch to start these projects, so once we award these projects, so the feasibility targets then are for H2 27 for Kha and Garadag for the feasibility study deliverables. And following that, then we'd be trying to look at targeting startup of those operations, Kha in 2028 and Garadag 2030 in that order. So, it's an exciting time ahead. And those two projects are copper. And because of the way those projects have been developed in our portfolio, we have transitioned more towards the copper side of things as opposed to purely the more gold. But one thing that I really do want to stress is that, as we develop as a copper producer, when Kha comes into production, copper will take over as the largest revenue provider over gold. We always want to be underpinned by precious metal assets. So the exploration teams, will not only be looking at the future of copper, but they're also exploring for the appropriate gold assets as well.
Well, it sounds, Stephen, like it's going to be a busy next 12 to 24 months. It sounds like you have a really strong plan that you're executing on, as we showed in 2025, and really continuing for the next 2 years.
What 2025 has done is given us a lot of confidence in our ability to deliver. Historically, what we've actually spoken about are the various strategies of bringing in mines and delivering certain targets of production and growth. And importantly, we've been able to materialize that. We've delivered. That's fundamental for our shareholders and any potential investors going forward in the confidence of what we're able to do. That aside, even the operating framework, if you like, within Azerbaijan, we operate under a production sharing agreement, which is a legal document. It's a legal framework that determines the financial aspects of how the business works. So, we're able then to project and forecast going forward our business environment within a robust framework that, there's security of tenure, good relationships with the government, and the terms of the business that override the structure of the framework of the operations is very, very much in place and robust. And that's something that is very strong.
Yeah, makes a lot of sense. Stephen, thanks very much for the update. Congratulations on a really strong 2025, and it's going to be an exciting story to tell as it continues to develop, okay?
Thank you very much. Look forward to it. Absolutely. It's an exciting time for all of us. Thank you.
Absolutely. Good to see you again. Stephen Westhead, the Vice President of Anglo Asian Mining.